Willett Distillery, Woodinville Whiskey, Wanderback. Three W's of whiskey in my life. Do I need a fourth? Oh, hell, why not? Bill Stringer, this is your fault. I think over the next couple of Wednesdays, we're going to review some Westland out of Seattle, Washington. Stay tuned. Hey, this is Scott, and you are tuned in to the Rookie Woodinville. Yeah, something like that. No, this is Scott. You're tuned into the Rookie Wine and Whiskey Enthusiast channel. There's a lot of W's in today's video. Anyways, today we're going to go ahead and taste two whiskeys. Westland is a distillery out of South Seattle, and they have been producing some amazing American single malts. Matter of fact, between them and Balcones and I think Stranahan's, those guys have been doing American single malts right with their own little twist on how things to be done. Anyways, here in the Pacific Northwest, you're going to have a brewer's influence, and I'll kind of touch on that. But I'm going to show you two different products here. This is their core range collection. You can typically pick up their core range collection at any of the big box stores. This particular one came from the distillery itself. It has the Sherry Wood, which is the version we're going to be tasting today, along with the Garryana, which is a special release. But it also happens to have their American and their peated whiskeys in there. So now you'll notice this is a great idea. Westland, you guys, kudos for coming out with a sampler pack like this. These are 200 milliliter bottles, and this entire pack after tax was $70. Now it's Washington State. We have an excessive liquor tax. I understand it'd probably be cheaper elsewhere, but their core range is sold nationally. You should be able to find this in probably all 50 states. The Garryana is sold internationally, but because it is an extremely limited bottling, I think this year they only did 3,750 bottles of this, and they did a special release party last week. I didn't get that. I just got this today, though. So that being said, let's go ahead and dive into Westland's Sherry Wood here first. Now, this is a little itty bitty cork. These little bottles are awesome. I wonder if I can make some sort of craft thing with them. Anyways, it's bottled at 92 proof, or 46% alcohol by volume. Now, the reason I'm doing the Sherry Wood first, and I'm pairing it with the Garryana, is I did taste the Garryana, and I think for similarity's sake, this is going to be closer to the Sherry. And the reason being is the cooperage and what goes into it. And I'll read what goes into it. Now, the Sherry Wood here, when you go to the distillery, by the way, they have this little booklet. And I'm going to just go ahead and read to you what is in the Sherry Wood here. The mash bill, it is 100% malted barley, but you have Washington Select pale malt, Munich malt, extra special malt, pale chocolate malt, and brown malt. The yeast strain is Belgian Saison brewer's yeast. Now here are the casks. And this is one of the reasons why Westland produces such a high quality product. Here are the cask types it takes to make the Sherry Wood here. Ex Oloroso Hogshead and Butts, Ex Pedro Jimenez Hogshead and Butts, Cooper Select New American Oak, and Cooper's Reserve New American Oak. So you have a mix of used sherry casks that are Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez, and New American Oak in this. So let's go ahead and take the nose on this. Now, beautiful color, copper coloring on this. Right off the bat, I'm getting a honey, slight toffee oak note. I'm also getting that floral dark fruit notes, sort of like oh, I don't know if there are certain dishes out there where you can take dark fruits and it's almost like you've grilled them. Because there's almost a char note to a plum or blackberry note. I mean, they're deep blue notes. Best way that I can describe it. But there's also a floral. What's the phrase I'm looking for? Potpourri. Thank you. There it is. Floral potpourri note on this. It's amazing. Now this is unpeated, and it is age stated, by the way, at a minimum of 3 years before it's all blended together. So, man, it's amazing. All right, let's go ahead and take a sip. Right off the bat, you can definitely taste the sherry influence of the Pedro Jimenez and the Oloroso sherry casks. The potpourri floral blue notes, the dark black notes of the plum, the grilled plum, the there you go, sauteed berries. That is exactly to me what it's tasting like. Mixed in with some toffee. That honey it's more of a light honey, but oh man, is it good. I would put this up against, and here's the other thing too, is with that new American oak, it's obviously not used, so you're going to have that heavy American char, heavy American oak influence in there. And so you're not going to be able to age it that long. Now, it is all aged down at their rick house down in Hoquiam, which is a small town by the border of Oregon down on the coast. So that, the temperature fluctuations down there are going to be very moderate throughout the entire year. So you have a fluctuation in temperature that's not very large for a good percentage of the year. So probably there's not much. It's probably flexing in the oak or working in the oak probably 9 months out of the year. I'm going to take another sip of this. This is just damn good. Yeah, I would literally put this up against a lot of 12-year-old scotches that are sherry influenced. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. Let me go ahead. As you can see, I'm just going to go ahead and open this up. Now, I know a lot of people that collect the Garryana edition. I don't know why, but, I mean, it's good. But this is a whiskey. And now, this here, wow. New cap, there we go. This is a screw top. No cork whatsoever. Now, I'm going to go ahead. I don't know if you guys can see it. The Garryana is slightly darker, not by much. Now, I did write down some notes. I'm going to go ahead and read you the notes. This is interesting. If I can get to the back page here. There we go. The cooperage on this. Now, this is not 100% Garryana oak casks. The cooperage on this is 29% ex-rye casks, 29% ex-bourbon casks, 19% new fill Gary oak, which is also commonly known as Oregon white oak, 16% Pedro Jimenez hogshead, and 7% refill Gary oak casks. This is the first year. This is their 4-1. Well, let's see. Does it say right there? Oh, let's see. You got to turn to the side. Oh, no, there it is, right there. It says 4-1. This is their fourth release of the Gary. And this is the first year that they've gone ahead and used refill Gary casks. And what they're trying to do is it's a blend. Oh boy, I forgot to mention this. The the cask maturation between all of the oaks ages anywhere before the blending for anywhere from 44 to 75 months. Now I don't have the mash bill on this, but I'm going to assume it's very similar to the sherry. Let's go ahead. Right off the bat, this is a much richer nose on this. Now this is bottled at 50% alcohol by volume, so 100 proof. Now on both of these, there's a deep malt note that sits behind all of those fruit flavors. On this one here though, what the Gary does is it gives it a more of a spice note. Because we were having a discussion down at the distillery, and he mentioned the spice note. Because I mentioned it sort of reminded me of a rye whiskey spice, but this is a little bit more savory. Now, the Pedro Jimenez Hogshead, a little bit less of an influence on this. And I think that really comes through. What they're trying to do is they're trying to let the Gary Oak speak for itself. Oh, get those plum notes again, the blueberry notes. But there's a clove or a nutmeg style of note to it on the nose that's just intense. Oh, wow. I told the guy, between this and they had another release down there I didn't pick up, between this, I could probably spend an hour, but I wanted to give you guys my first impressions of the new Garryana release. Tonight I actually may spend an hour on this just to try to pick through all the notes. There's honey on this. And I want to say it's a very spicy honey. Again, there's the spice, the nutmeg, the clove, and then there's the dried fruit notes that the Pedro Jimenez casks are kind of giving to it. But there's also a very hint of a vanilla and oak note to this. Let's go ahead and give it a taste, shall we? It sits on the palate. It's light. The maltiness comes right through. And then on the mid palate and the back side of the palate, that is when the sherry comes up and basically kicks you right in the teeth. The best way I think I can describe it is think of a pitcher who's about ready to throw a fastball. You see the windup, you are expecting a fastball, but you don't actually get to see the fastball until it's literally over the plate. That is the way this flavor hits. That fruit note from the sherry, it's lingering. This has got a very savory note to it. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, there's the spices that's sitting well. It's meshing together with the sherry. The Garryana, I can't compare this to any sort of single malt scotch I've ever had. I think maybe the closest you could get is maybe and I'm not even doing it justice, is the Redbreast Lustau sherry. And even then, that's kind of a stretch. But anyways, if you have the opportunity, like I said, they told me that this particular bottling is going international. But there's only 3,750 bottles total. If you like an American single malt, if you like a unique tasting experience, and Westland does it right. You know, I I joke that Woodinville and Wanderback and Willett, they're my favorite distilleries. Westland's right there with them. They really are. They have a unique approach to how they are blending these whiskeys. You know, if I were to go ahead and give it a score now, I've had a previous Garryana, and I don't remember which one it was, which is why this year I actually had to search out and try to get myself a bottle. I've had the Sherry Wood before. Let's go ahead and rate the Sherry Wood right now. Sherry Wood single malt. This is a single malt, an American single malt. I'm going to give it an 87 out of 100 for. Yes, that's high, but you know what? It is a stand. If you are a single malt Scotch lover, take this, pair this up against a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old sherry cask influenced, non-peated now, non-peated single malt Scotch, and I would almost guarantee you this will hold its own. Okay? The Garryana, this is a unique flavor profile. And like I said, I'm really hard pressed to compare it to any sort of single malt Scotch that I've had in the past. To be honest with you, the grade on this, this is a must buy. If you are, like I said, if you are a single malt, American single malt fan, if you are a Scotch single malt fan, if you see this on the shelf, buy it. It's limited. You will not be disappointed. I'm giving this a 91 out of 100. You know, again, it's aged a minimum of 3 years, but is it worth it? Yeah, please do. 91, 87. Please, folks, if you like the comments, you know, or if you like the comments, boy, I'm just all sorts of fubbing today, aren't I? Go ahead and comment down below. Have you had the Westland Sherried Single Malt? Have you had the Westland Garryana in the past? Do you have the new Garryana in the past? And let me know what you guys think. Are my notes off? Do you guys disagree with my notes? Do you like my notes on these? Please let me know in the comments down below. Is there a single malt that I might be able to compare these to? Let me know about that as well. Also, please go ahead. If you like this content, please hit the thumbs up button and let me know that you did like this content, or hit the thumbs down. Let the algorithms know. Let them figure it all out. That being said, if you like this content, though, please go ahead and subscribe. Oh, my wine and whiskey dog is right here. Come here, Buck. You sit. There we go. I'm going to move this so you can see him. Look at the camera. There we go. Anyways, please go ahead and subscribe. And, you know, if you like this content, when you hit the subscribe button, go ahead and a little bell icon is going to pop up. Hit the bell icon as well. He's going to hit my camera. And then that way, when I upload content like this, you guys are informed that it's uploaded. So that being said, as always, please drink responsibly, and life is too short for either bad wine or bad whiskey. This review is brought to you by my friend Bill Stringer, who is not a single malt fan, but went out and bought the Garryana the other day, and kind of convinced me to buy it today. Cheers, Bill Stringer. Thank you very much. If you like, by the way, he's got a Facebook group called the House of Bourbon. He's a bourbon guy. Not everybody's perfect. Cheers. You won't be disappointed.